We are going through exercise 6E, and in this video I will be answering question 1D, which says, using the method of horizontal and vertical translations, sketch the graph of each of the following. And here's the cubic that we need to graph. Now you should immediately notice that this is in our general form, so we can immediately identify what my point of inflection is going to be. So let's write that down. What is my point of inflection going to be? My point of inflection. This is where my gradient is 0. It's where it is stationary. Point of inflection. It is going to be at 2, 5. The way I read that off is I see that I have -2. So I change the sign to +2. And I see I have +5, and I keep that sign here. Let me now try to give this a graph. So it's going to be, let's say this is, no, let me come a bit further out. Let's say this is 2. And let's say up here is 5. This is not to scale. All right, let's say we're dealing with that point. The other thing that we need is the x and y intercepts. So the x int is going to occur when y equals 0. So that means I'm going to get 0 equals x minus 2 cubed plus 5. I'm going to minus 5 from both sides. So each side I'm going to minus 5, which means I'm going to have minus 5 equals, actually let me go back for a second, minus 5 equals x minus 2 cubed. I'm now going to cube root both sides. So I'm going to cube root both sides. Cube root both sides, which is going to leave me with the cube root of -5, and then on this side, x minus 2. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to get rid of these brackets. I don't need them. Now I'm going to +2 to both sides to get my x by itself. So I'm going through these steps very slowly for you. So it is the cube root of -5 plus 2 equals x. That is what I'm dealing with. That is going to be my x-intercept. You can cube root a negative number. If I was to quickly pop this into my calculator, I can tell you exactly what this is going to be. It's going to be, give me 1 second, -5 plus 2. It is going to be 0.29. Okay, so that means I'm going to get, I'm going to get 0.29 and 0 as my x-intercept. But you could, of course, leave it in this form. This is just going to help me kind of figure out that it's about there. It's probably a lot closer, but let's just leave it there. The next thing that I'm going to do is find my y-intercept, which is going to occur when my x is equal to 0. So I'm going to wind up with y is equal to 0 minus 2 plus 5. That's cubed. Y equals -2 cubed plus 5. Y is going to be equal to -8 plus 5. Y is going to be equal to -3. So that is what we're after right there. And then from that, we can say that it is going to be 0, -3. I now come over here and let's say it's down here, which is probably not that accurate because 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's try this. Let me do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this up a bit more. Let me put that up. So I'm just trying to make sure that this is scaled to the best of my ability here. Perhaps not the best, but let's give this a go now. So this is the hardest part, sketching it. So it's going to look something like this. I've already messed this up. Let me try again. I'm just going to do it in one foul move. No, I can't do it. Ready? Good. This is looking all right. Then it's going to level off. It's going to level off. Let's just try to make that look a bit more level there. It's going to level off, and then it's going to shoot up again. All right, that is the best I can do. to give you a more accurate picture of what this should look like, it should look something like this. So as you can see, your point of inflection right there is 2 and 5, and 0.29 is your x-intercept, 0, -3 is your y. So let's just make sure we put these points in accurately. This should be 0, -3. This is 0.290. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a bit of idea of how you should approach these types of questions. Try to sketch better than I am, but overall that's how you should approach it. Hopefully this video was helpful to you.